All right, so now everything should be working. So hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan, and this is going to, hopefully you are in the right class, the Intro to 5th Grade class. Let us get started. So this is Cloud Classroom. And what we're going to be doing is a 3-week, 6 classes, and we're going to learn a bunch of things about in 5th grade, not all this complicated stuff, just like a broad overview of what 5th grade Common Core is like, and we are going to get started. So a couple of Zoom features that you should be aware of. We'll go over them more later in the class rules, but just know that you can be muted. If you want to ask a question, raise your hand, and if I see it, I'll answer your question. If not, hopefully the TA will be able to see and answer as well. Also, you can use the chat whenever you feel like it, just not anything too inappropriate. And as for camera, I'll go over that later. So I am Jonathan Wang, as I said before. I'm your instructor for this 5th grade, Intro to 5th grade math class. This is Alan, my co-host. He's also my friend, and he is going to also be your teacher assistant. So be good for that. All right, so this is created by me and Alan. So welcome. Yes, hello. Good morning, Lucas. It's actually night for in here because I'm in Florida. I'm sure some of you guys are all over the world, China and America, but over here right now, it is currently 8:30 p.m. for me. So welcome. This is to the summer of 2020. Thank you all for coming. I know you could be right now laying in bed. You could be doing some other things, but thank you for coming to this class. Hopefully you'll like this class, and as you'll come to see, you'll enjoy it and learn something from this. All right. Also, if I keep looking this way, my screen, I have 2 screens, so I'm going to be looking this way most of the time. So don't be bothered. Hopefully don't be bothered by it because I have my screen over here and the camera's over here. So a bit about me. I am a 10th grader at American Heritage High School in Plantation, Florida. Some experience in math. I do some after-school tutoring. I've done it in 9th grade only. I just started. I have passed the 5th grade successfully, so you can count on me to teach you the right things, and I won't lead you astray. And I actually started competing in math in the 4th grade, just in case you didn't know. So I've been competing for about like 5-ish years. So yeah, I'm pretty invested in math. And I do also play cello, and I used to play 6 years of piano before. I unfortunately quit, but I do play cello for now. And I have won several state and regional math competitions recently, mostly this year actually, since I actually got more into math this year. And I really like teaching math, and I also like learning math as well. So that's why I'm here. I love teaching you guys. I have another class, 4th grade class. I love teaching those kids. Those are my favorite kids. And you guys will hopefully be my favorite kids too. And I also have 2 cats, just for you know. Okay, this is my TA. This is Alan Wu. He is a really smart kid. He's smarter than me, but he just wants me to teach this class. He's also goes to 10th grade at American Heritage this year. He also plays clarinet. He's actually really godly at Chinese. So I'm not that good at Chinese. So if you want to ask me any questions in Chinese, I'll just refer you to him because he's pretty Chinese friendly. He knows a lot of Chinese. So if you're more prefer typing Chinese as an email, please email Alan or email me, and I'll forward it to Alan. He basically destroys every single math competition we've gone to. He's really good. He's better than me actually. So he'll also be grading your homework and making your tests. So be very respectful for a TA, or else he will be very ruthless in his test making. All right, so now onto the basic rules. If you're uncomfortable with your camera, you don't really need to have it on. I really do not prefer one way or the other. You can have your camera on as long as it's not distracting. Your microphone, please make sure right now, make sure that your microphone is off unless your hand is raised and I'll call on you. But right now, everyone's mic should be off because it disrupts the class. And when I'm talking, I prefer no one else to talk. Please, thank you. And you can use the chat. I'm sure I've seen some of you already use the chat already. A lot of people use the chat. Please keep the chat on topic, and please, yes, you can put anything as long as it isn't inappropriate or unrelated to class. Right now, I prefer English because that's my main language, but any language is fine before class, after class, during breaks. I can hear Chinese, it's fine. I just can't read it that much. But Alan and me will be there to help you. English is preferred. So yes, and then homework. So the way we're gonna do it is we're gonna send you every single time after class, maybe a day or 2 after. we'll send you the homework. So the way that's going to work is that you can do it or you don't have to. If you don't want to do the homework, just don't send it to us. But we will email it to you. Just do your homework and email it back to us, and then we will have a grading sheet. We'll put everyone's number. We'll give everyone a number, and then we'll put it all on a sheet so you can see how well you did compared to others, but you won't know the people's names. So that's the next step. We're going to do that next slide. And most importantly, in math, please have fun, because math is, honestly, it is, most people are like, oh man, math is so boring. Math sucks. But given the right teacher and the right tools, and there's a lot of practice, math can be fun, especially when you go to competitions and you win. That's the best part. You make friends. You make friends from different schools, and you learn a lot of different things. So math can be fun. So I hope I can inspire that in you these couple of weeks. So let's get on to it. So how this class works. So unlike your other classes, we will be working for 30 minutes because this is a short math class. Maybe a 5 to 10 minute break depending on the time limits. I'll decide maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And after that 10 minutes breaks, we will continue another 30 minutes. So we will have 6 classes in total. And this is going to be a really fast-paced class because every 30 minutes is going to be one chapter in this very thick book that I have right here. It's very big, as you can see. So this is divided to 11 chapters. So basically, you're going to be learning 2 chapters every single class. So this is going to be a pretty fast-paced class, but it's not going to be too hard, hopefully. All right, so let's get started. If you have a phone or something, you can scan this QR link for a form. If you can't access Google, like for the people in China, I know that you guys can't access Google Forms or Google Slides. So I would, here is my email, and here is my teacher assistant's email. Please email us, and then we will send you some questions. So basically, just email that, jonathanwang754@gmail.com, as well as ayw2005@gmail.com, because this is one way we get to know you guys, your names and your skill level, and as well where you live. So we can send you, because mostly the communication is going to be through email. In 4th grade, I have a lot of people. So this is going to be the main way we're going to be communicating. So please, the next steps is going to be me not talking, but be aware that this is just you right now. And then after this, we'll be doing chapter 1. So please email this number if you do not have access to Google, and please email this as well. And then we will.
And
yes.
The form is disabled.
Yeah. Okay. So if your form is not working, like if you're in China, or if it's just any problems in general, please email me, and please email my teacher assistant if you have trouble with that, and we will send you the questions personally. So again, for the people that did not hear me, if you cannot access Google, like the people in China, please email this jonathanwang754@gmail.com or awy2005@gmail.com, and we will send you the questions, and then we'll email you back, hopefully. So I'll give you like 5 minutes to do that, and hopefully you'll come back in that time, and then we'll do a practice test. So see you.
We can now hear you right now.
All right. So for the people that just joined and did not hear me before, right now we are trying to do a Google form because we are trying to ask you where you're from, and we just want to know you personally. So like what grade you passed and where you're from, and if we can communicate with you guys. So if you can access Google, then please use this QR link. If not, if it's broken, if it glitched, I know some people, even in America, it might be glitched. So if the form for some reason does not work, please use the email I have right here. So yeah, if the link doesn't work, and if you can't access the link, please email this. Thank you.
Jonathan, can you send the link on chat?
Yes, I will try to send the link in the chat right now. All right, so I'm gonna say this one more time. So basically, if you cannot see if you cannot use this form because you're in China, I know, please email us. This is for the people that can access Google, and this is for the people that can access international. So please email these two emails to try to get the questions.
Do you necessarily have to do that?
Okay, so this form is mainly for asking you if you are willing to communicate with us. If you're feeling comfortable, if you just want to learn, if you don't want to do like the homeworks and stuff, if you don't want my slides, basically this is for us to document who you are. So if you don't want the slides, if you don't want the homework, you just want to sit back and enjoy the math lessons, then you don't have to answer the questions. If you do, if you want to learn more, if you want maybe some links or maybe some special games that we have, then you can, but you don't have to. All right. So thank you for everyone that's submitting. Due to time constraints, we will try to move on. If you can do it after class, I don't really mind. There's more time for us. So right now we are going to move on. And okay, right now basically, you know, we're not talking that much, but right now basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a practice test and see how around what level you guys are. Also for basically the sixth graders, if you're here, I know Basically, this class is free. It doesn't really hurt us if you don't take it, or it doesn't hurt you. You don't have to take this class if you do not feel comfortable. If you do not like my teaching style, then it's okay, you can leave. But this class can be a little bit difficult for some people. So if you want to maybe refresh or relearn what you learned this year, I know because of COVID, you might have not been in class that often. So if you're in 6th grade, this can also refresh what you learned last year or what you learned 2 years before. Because there's a lot of extra things or extra competition knowledge that we can share with you that we used to find helpful in the years past. So right now, I'm going to be sharing my screen, which is going to be I'm going to be sharing a benchmark math quiz, and I'll be giving you around 25-ish minutes to hopefully solve this, to hopefully do these. So it's not that long, but it's going to be containing everything that this book has to contain. So hopefully you will be able to finish this in due time. I'll give you like around 10 minutes to try to solve these. And basically the way you can answer these questions, basically just email to us. You just have hopefully you have our email already, and hopefully we sent you the questions, and basically just emailed us the answers to your questions.
What is your email again?
I just shared it into chat. Hopefully that you guys received it.
你想过不用数学就不要做题，我才不是你们。一点都不想看。这是 x 负2 y 是负1。你比如说你把负6挨着负5，那首先我们5吗？不，那就 a 已经就 out 掉了，对不对？那我们继续往下串。好。人和上面。
All right, so I forgot to tell you guys, but you were supposed to have a break until 9:10, but it turns out a lot of people were struggling a little bit with the math. That's no problem. This is supposed to be for the end. Like this is supposed to be like the finals, your finals, like the last of the year. So if you didn't finish, that's fine. That's perfectly normal. If you did finish, then you're a genius. Good job. You're smart. You're gonna be learning more because this is the basic of basic stuff. Today we're gonna be going through chapter 1. So let's get started on that right now. All right. Chapter 1. So we are going to be learning in chapter 1 place value multiplication and expression. So I'm sure you guys already know what this is. So chapter 1 in math is usually like a small review of last year. So hopefully you will know how to do this. If not, I'll explain. So this is the place value. So all humans use what mathematicians call the decimal system. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Basically the tens. So why do we do that? Humans do that because obviously the obvious reason right now is because we have 10 fingers, 5 on each hand, 5 on each toe, 5 on each foot. So that's the main reason why we use decimal. Also, it's really easy. There's a lot of patterns that humans just like to link with 10. But that is not the only way to count. So this 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, that is something called binary. So this is 1 in binary. The second number is 10 in binary. The third number is 100 in binary, and the fourth one is 1000 in binary. So basically, binary is a form of number system that computers use, like your iPad or your computer or your phone, whatever you're using. So place value is basically where it is in the number. So I have this number 23, right? So what is the place value of the 2? Well, it's in the tens place. That means the place value of 2 is 10. And as for the 3, the place value of 3 is in the ones. And if you break it down, you can see that 2 tens is 20 and 3 ones is 3. Okay, let's try another one. So what about this? The place value of 8. I bolded here. So the place value of 8. What is the place value of 8? Well, as I said before, place value is where it is. So it's in the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. The 8 is in the thousands place. That means the place value of 8 is the thousands. And then for 4, it's in the hundreds. For the 1, it's in the tens. And the 9 is in the ones. All right, number value. So this is basically the same thing except what the number is. So I have this number, this neat little number, 107. So if you're in my 4th grade class, this is a flashback to you. This is basically a review, and this is really simple. So the place value of this 1 is 100, but the number value is 100 as well because it's a 1. And then what about this 7? Okay, I want the number value of the 7. Well, it's a 7 because it's in the ones place. The place value of 7 is 1, but the number value of 7 is 7. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. If not, we'll do some practice after this slide. So another example, the number value of this 5, as I bolded here, is 50, but the place value of the 5 is 10. The number value of the 4 is 4, the place value is 1, and so on. So you can basically see that place value is where it is, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, but number value is what it is, like 10,000, 2,000, 150, or 4. And one last example before we do some practice problems. I know I'm not doing too much talking today, but that's just basically what day 1 is. So the number value of this 3 is 300,000, number value of 6, 60,000, and so on. And as we said, the place value of the 3 is 100,000. Okay, so let's try some practice problems so I can get through some questions that people have. Some people are confused by this. So hopefully you will do some practice problems so you will understand what's the difference between place value and the difference between number value. So remember, place value is tens, hundreds, ones, thousands, and number value is like 7 or 2 or 5. All right, so I'll give you like 2 minutes because this is pretty easy stuff, and then we'll move on. All right, so I'm seeing some answers from the chat already. So I'm going to assume that most people are done with the questions. So let's go over them. Remember, place value. So place value is the 2. I want to know the place value of the 2. It's in the tens place. So that means its place value is 10. And then the same thing for 2. The number 2 is in the hundreds place. That means it's the hundreds is the place value. It's in the ones place for number 3. For number 4 is thousands place. Number 5. Okay, so the place value, remember, a 5 is 100,000. And then the place value of 1, which is in the hundreds place, is equal to 100. So 100,000 is how much times greater than the hundreds place? What's in the name? 100,000 is 1,000 times more. So 1,000 times more. So let's look at the number value one. So these are the same first 4 problems. So it shows you the difference between number value and place value. Remember, number value is what it is. So the 2 is in the tens place. So that means it's 20. And then the 4 is in the hundreds place. That means it's 400. The 1 is in the ones place, which is 1. And 2 is in 2,000 place, 2,000. And then, okay, so 2,000 versus 200. So the 2 and 2,000 is how much times more than the 200? Remember, it's in, okay, this is basically a place value problem. So I might trick some of you, but the 2 is in the thousands place. And then 2 in the 200 is in the hundreds place. So it's 10 times more. And then what about this one? It's a little trickier because you have to look at only the numbers. So the 7 in this is 10 times less because it is one place value less than the other one. So we're going to get through that later on today. So there are, these are the fundamentals. So there are many different ways to name numbers. So there are 3 basic ways. So which ones and how many can you name? I'll give you like 3 seconds to think about it. In math, we have basically 3 forms that we're going to use in this class: standard form, word form, and expanded form. So what are these forms? Standard form is you're just writing the number as a number, like writing the number 8 as a snowman or a figure 8, infinity sign turned around, or 2 or a 492, just like writing a number regularly. Word form is how you would speak that number. So this is the word form of this number, the number on top,
on my hand
200. If anyone is not muted, please mute because I'm talking right now. Thank you. So right, this number in the top is 262,400 and 400. So that is the word form. And the expanded form is exactly what you might think it is. It's just this form expanded in the 2 and it's just expanding into its forms. And as we learned, place value. All right, so these are the properties. Wow. So there are also 3 properties. Amazing. So we have commutative property, associative property, and identity property. Some of these might be familiar to you. Some of these might not be. You might have learned this in 4th grade. So I'll go through it again for you guys. So you might know from addition and multiplication that addition and multiplication have all of these properties. So, and there's one special property that we will learn today. Very special, very interesting. Hopefully you'll understand it. It's called the distributive property. Okay, so let's go through some examples on the next page. So let's look at addition. So addition, commutative property in addition, basically says that if you add 2 numbers, the order doesn't matter. So let's say I have a number A and a random number B. And then it equals to A plus B is equal to B plus A. So let's say you have an example. So when you write 3 plus 92 is equal to 95, right? But 92 plus 3 is also equal to 95. So that's a commutative property. Basically, the order in addition does not matter. In maybe in advanced maths like groups, and you might learn that commutative property doesn't always hold. So this is just the property that addition has, very special. It's not always like going to happen, especially in advanced math. Okay, so associative property. We're going to introduce these things called parentheses, which are pretty important. Parentheses tell you which order to do them in. So parentheses are the ones that are saying, hey, do me first. So if you see parentheses, that means you should add these 2 numbers first and then add C. And then if you see parentheses here, you first add B and C first and then add A. So associative property in addition basically says if you just move the parentheses, it doesn't really matter because addition. So here's an example again. So 1 plus 3 is equal to 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. Okay, so 3 plus 6 is equal to 9 plus 1 is equal to 10, the same thing. So Basically, if you are confused, you can always just prove it out just by plugging in numbers. But just remember that parentheses doesn't really matter in addition. And then identity property. So identity property, some of you might not have heard of this, but it's really, really easy, really, really intuitive, as you would say. So I have any number no matter what. A plus 0 is equal to A. So the identity property states that if you add any number to 0, it's always going to equal that number. For example, 13 plus 0 is 13. Really, really simple stuff. Okay, so how about multiplication? It's basically the same thing. So the order doesn't matter. So A times B is equal to B times A. And we can see here, 6 times 8, 48. 8 times 6 is also 48. Associative property, same thing. Again, parentheses doesn't really matter. Although it might seem like it might matter, it doesn't really. So A times B first, then times C is the same as B times C, then times A. Basically the same exact thing. As you can see here, so 4 times 25 is 100, times 30 is 30,000. And then this is equal to the same exact thing. And then identity is a little bit different because it's basically the same thing, same exact concept, but a different number. So the identity property states that any number times 1 is equal to that number. As you can see, I have this big number right here, times 1 is equal to the same exact number. So that's the identity property, basically returning the same exact number. Super easy. Okay, distributive property. I've been talking about distributive property, so let's finally get to it. So distributive property needs two functions. Addition, as I said earlier, and multiplication. So keep up with me. This is a little bit harder than the three properties that we just learned. Distributive property basically says that A times, in parentheses, B plus C is equal to A times B plus A times C. Okay, so I'll give you an example. This is a really easy example, but this is just to show you how it works. So I have 5 times 5. We all know it's 25. So how do I use distributive property? Well, 5 times 2 plus 3. Remember, parentheses means do me first, because parentheses becomes before multiplication. All right, so 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. 5 times 5. Same exact equation. I didn't change anything. It's just that I just put these in parentheses. And then I have distributive property, right? I have distributive property, and I put 5 times 2 plus 5 times 3. I just multiply 2 and 3 by 5, and then I just add them. Basically, just move the 5 in, and then move the 5 in, and then that's basically all you do. And then as you can see, 5 times 2 is equal to 10. 5 times 3 is equal to 15, and then you add them together. 10 plus 15 is 25. And yeah, the math holds up. 5 times 5 is 25. 10 plus 15, also 25. So why do we use distributive property? This is an easy example, so it might be really easy to understand why distributive property works. So distributive property is really, really good for trying to multiply big numbers together, and I'll show you later. Also, this is not the case. When you put addition on the outside, it doesn't really work like that. So be careful. So when you are doing distributive property, make sure you are putting the multiplication in and not the other ones. Yes, as you can see, basically you just move the A and the B and the A and C together. All right, so let's do another one, step by step. So I have the initial equation, 9 times 30 plus 7. So I set up the equation as step 1. Then I do distributive property. I move the 9 times 30, 9 times 9, 7 in. And then I just multiply these in here. And then I add them. Super easy. That's one way to multiply two big numbers together. All right, so we're a little bit short on time, so I will go through these. Hopefully you'll see why they work. So the first one, 0 plus 0 equals 0. So what is that? What is that property? Well, it's addition, right? So it's going to be the addition identity. And then for the second one, basically we're moving, as we can see, moving this in and moving this in. So 3 times 4, 3 times 5, that's the distributive property. And then number 3, you're multiplying by 1. So that's the identity of multiplication. 4 times 1 is equal to 4. That's identity. And then what about 4 plus 0 equals 0 plus 4? That is equal to the commutative property of addition. You just remember the order does not matter. That is what commutative is. What about this one? You're just moving parentheses. Nothing else is changing. So that is associative property of multiplication. And then as for this one, this is commutative. This 89 is a red herring. So you're just moving the 27 and the 11 and the 11 plus 27. So it's just commutative property. And then 1 times 0 equals 0. That's identity because 1 times a number equals that number. That's a little tricky one, but it looks like it's identity of addition as well, but it's actually identity of multiplication because 1 is the identity times 0, which is some number, equals 0. All right, so this is the scariest part of today. Exponents. What are exponents? You might know what these are, you might not. So I'll go through what these are. So what are the exponents? They look so scary. 2, 3, 123, 1. Multiplication is basically multiplication and addition is the same as exponents and multiplication, and I'll show you why. So multiplication is just adding a number a certain amount of times. So 10 times 3 is equal to 10 plus 10 plus 10. That's just 3 times. 10 3 times. Multiplication is exponents is basically the same thing. So 10 to the 3 is equal to 10 times 10 times 10. So it's just 10 to the 3 is just saying 10 times 10, 10 times 10, 3 times. And as you can see here, 2 to the 3 is just 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, 3 times. And 123 to the 1 is just 123 to itself, which is just 123. All right, so basically an exponent means a number is multiplied by a certain amount of times instead of multiplication. So let's start with 10. So we got 10 to the 1 is equal to 10 because 10 times nothing is equal to 10. 10 squared is equal to 10 times 10 because 10 to the 2 is equal to 2. 10 2 times, it's 100. 10 to the 3 is 10 3 times, and so on. You might have noticed a pattern. If not, this handy dandy chart might have showed you. As we said before, 10 to the x, like 10 to like a number, is equal to 1 with x 0. So count above. So 10 to the 1, there's 1 0. 10 to the 2, 2 zeros. 10 to the 3, 3 zeros. And from this picture, you can see that it's true. 10 to the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 10 to the 5, 5 zeros, and so on. So think about it. So what is 10 to the 0 with this logic? Oh, okay, so the picture gave it away, but I was planning on having you guys solve it out. 10 to the 0 is actually just 1 because it has no numbers. Okay, so 0 to the 0 is a very, very controversial number in math competitions. They'll explicitly say if they want to define 0 to the 0, but technically 0 to the 0 is technically undefined. So we usually stray away from it. But some people define it as 1, some people define it as 0, some people define it as undefined. So that's why we're a little shaky on 0 to the 0. So we usually just don't talk about 0 to the 0 because like an outcast. But 0 to the 0, if you want to solve a problem on 0 to the 0, it will have to like say if 0 to the 0 is 1 or 0 to the 0 is 0 or it's undefined. So that's 0 to the 0. It's really, really weird number. Okay, so now you have the knowledge. Now you have the knowledge to solve these problems. Now you are super smart. So my backyard is 90,000 square kilometers. That's a lot of kilometers, but I wish it was that big. How can I say this as a whole number multiplied by a power of 10? So this is tricky. So which one is it? Is it A, 9 times 10 to the 2, B, 9 times 10 to the 3, C, 9 times 10 to the 4, or D, 9 times 10 to the 5? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about this one, and then I'll go for it. All right, yeah, I'm seeing a couple of C's already. Yep, C. Everyone's pretty stuck on C. Are you sure about that? You gotta make sure. Hopefully you are correct, and we will now answer this question. So it turns out it's actually C. So good job to everyone that answered. So you gain the ultimate knowledge. You got the big brain. And this problem, 30 times 600, used to look hard, but now it's super simple. I will show you how. So we set up the initial equation, this, right? And then we also, step 1 is to just write down the equation. Oh, I messed up. But it's still the same equation. So we know that 3 times 6 is 18, right? That's a basic fact. We already know that from 3rd grade or 2nd grade or 1st grade. And then we have that 30 times 6 is just 3 times 6 to 10 times 10. Remember 3 times 6 is 18, as we said in step 2. So 30 times 6 is equal to 180. And now, as you can see where I'm going, we can do the same thing. 300 times 6, 3 times 6 times 10 to the 2 is equal to 1,800. And then 300 times 60 is equal to 3 times 6, which is 18. And then 100, which is 10 to the 2, as we said here, at times 10, which is just 18 with 3 zeros. Wow. See, a lot of people in chat are already responding, and they are doing a great job. Good job, guys. So we learned how to do that today. Very easy. Okay, so now we gotta switch gears. Now we gotta go multiplication. So multiplication is super hard. Higher number, it becomes really long, really tedious, and really confusing. But a couple tricks should make it a little easier. So let's start with this conjumble. I bet none of you can solve this mentally. All right, so I'll give you like 5 seconds to do it in your head. I know I can't do that fast, but I'm just trying to go a little fast today. So I'm sure none of you have done it, so let's go on. We can set up the equation. So I'm sure all of you have done this kind of format. It's just the big number on top and a little number on bottom, and then we just have this multiplication over here. So if not, I'll walk you through it. So in multiplication, we always start with the ones digits. We always align the numbers so that the ones digits are matching. So the first of all, you have 3 times 6, right? Which is 18. But we can't have 18 right here or it'll mess up the entire thing. So we move the 1 over here to the tens place. And then we just do the same thing. 6 times 9 is equal to 54, right? But then I have this extra tens from before. So I just add it, so 55. So I just drop down the 5 and then do the same thing. I add the 5 from before, and then I now multiply the next number, which is 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is equal to 12 plus 5 is 17, and I just plop it down. Since there's no more numbers after the 2, I can just plop down this 17. I know this, a lot of you already like got it. Good job, guys. Hopefully you did not use a calculator, or I'll be very angry. I don't really care. But if anyone has any questions, I will walk you through it again. We are on a little bit time constraint, so we are going to rush through this part. Another example problem. Let's do this one together again. So as I said before, so basically 4 times 3 is 12, plop down a 1. 9 times 3 is 27, but plus 1 is 8, 28. And I just put an 8 here, plop down a 2. And then 7 times 3 is 21. And then plus 2 is equal to 23. So simple stuff. Okay, so hopefully that wasn't too bad. If it was, I will be after class and I will walk you through it. We will have 5 minutes left, so I'm really rushing out right now. If you got this down, really good job, The homework's gonna be super easy. So 1 digit is super simple. So what about this? 23 times 267. This is not like the 1 digits, but yes, I will walk anyone through it till the end because we are right. I know 5 minutes left, so. Remember distributive property, we just learned distributive property. So what is distributive property? All right, remember, so you look at this and you're like, why does this work? How does this work? So first, okay, so I'm gonna basically walk you through it. So why does this work? Why does distributive property work? So why do we add them? Remember, when I have this equation, right, 64 times 43, right, is equal to 64 times parentheses 40 plus 3. Parentheses, remember, always go first. So when I look at this equation, I see the parentheses, I immediately go, oh, 40 plus 30 is first. So I add the 40 plus 3, which is 43, and then multiply by 64. So it's the same equation. And then I use distributive property. Remember, I put the 64 times multiplied by each term in this parentheses. So 64 times 3 plus 64 times 40. We just learned this. So hopefully that gave you a little insight. Okay, so first we got to multiply 60 times 3, right? Which is equal to 192. If we already learned, we just learned multiplication. And then 60 times 40, which is equal to 2,560. And then we just do the basic math. And then we will get to 2,752. 2 plus 0, 2. 9 plus 6 is 15. Put down a 5 and put a 1 over. 1 plus 1 plus 5 is equal to 7. And 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. All right, so that was distributive property. So let's do one more example, and then I will hopefully go to the next one, I think. And then basically the same thing, 35 times 10 plus 35 times 10 plus 2. Same thing, distributive property, remember how it works. So I will do 35 times 2. I'm sure some of you can do it in your head, it's just 70. 35 times 10, super easy, 350 as we said before. You just add an extra 0 at the end when you multiply by 10. Equal to 0 plus 0, 0. 7 plus 5, 2, and then you put the 1 over here, and then 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. It's 420. How about that? All right, so, and you know, in math, we have something called inverse operations. So addition and subtraction are inverse operations. You subtract to get rid of the addition, basically. And basically, multiplication also has an inverse operation, which is called division. So instead of division asks basically, if I want some cookies and I want to give each friend the same amount, how much cookies does each friend get? So in multiplication, I have 3 times 8 is equal to 24. And then in division, 24 divided by 3 is equal to 8. So division, this is the division sign. You might see this is the 5th grade division sign. There's a lot more that we'll see later next week actually. So 24, the big number divided by a smaller number equals this number. And then same thing, 5 times 6 is equal to 30, but 30 divided by 5 is equal to 6. So division is the opposite of multiplication, as you've already seen. Also, if you couldn't tell, this is equal. This thing on the board is you are a cutie pie, which is a little pun I put in there. So if this is true, 26 times 13 equals 338. Then 338 divided by 13 is equal to 26. If this big number times this number is equal to this big number, then this number divided by this is equal to this. So this is the official definition. So these two numbers are called factors, and this is called the product. The two factors multiplied by each other equals a product. And then we have a big number, the dividend, which is a product, divided by the divisor, one of the factors, equals a quotient, another factor. So this is the official math terms. A dividend divided by divisor equals quotient. I'll be using these words later today. So one last thing before we have today, word problems. I know a lot of you hate word problems. Like, word problems suck. They are too long and they take too much time. A lot of people, especially in math company, even I'm guilty of this. When I see a word problem, I immediately skip it because it takes too much time for me personally. So I skip all the word problems, and basically, if I have time, I go back to do them. But word problems are a blessing in disguise. They look super hard, but in reality, if you understand how to do them, then they become super easy. So let's try one. I love feeding ducks. In fact, my friend Alan has a pet duck. In fact, I have 4 ducks to feed every single day. All the ducks together eat 600 grams of food together. So assuming all ducks eat the same. So how much grams of food does each duck eat? So I want to solve, I gave the answer. So this is the problem, right? Just don't look at the bottom. This is the problem. I just read it out. So what do I need to find? So I want to find how much grams each duck eats. That's the problem. So I know that all the food together is 600 grams, and there are 4 ducks. So I can divide to find the grams per duck. And I solved it. It's 600 divided by 4 is equal to 150. All right, this is the final boss before today. This is actually a viral math problem that went viral, I think 2 years ago. It was notoriously hard because people did not know how to do it. So I'll give you a couple, like 1 minute to try to solve this one, and hopefully you will be able to get it. So these are the answer choices: A, B, C, D. Is it 1? Is it 9? Is it 3/2? Or is it 36? Which one is it? So use your order of operations. This is the last thing we're going to learn today. We're a little bit over time. Hopefully that's not going to bother any of you. You can leave early if you want, because I'll be sending the slides later. But this is the last thing before today.
"318 Daragasti, can you talk?" If you want to join my server, you can just click me. And then if it has join game, then you can join me, bro.
For anyone that's talking unrelated to class, I would advise you, please do not talk. If you have your friend contact, please talk to them.
We're talking about Roblox.
I know. So please talk about that after class. Right now, we are trying to solve this problem. I have no problem after class because I play Roblox too. So please talk about it after class. Actually, I know time's running out. Some of you are pretty bored already. So let's try this problem. So I see some A's, I see some B's, I also see some C's and D's. So let's go through this one. The answer, well, it's actually B, and I'll show you why. So I have this final boss, right? So we have this thing called PEMDAS. I'm sure some of you have heard of this. So PEMDAS basically stands for parentheses, which is, remember, parentheses always come first, right? When I see an equation and I see parentheses, I always solve what's in the parentheses first. And then E stands for exponents. Then I solve exponents second. So there's no parentheses in the equation, I solve the exponents. So 10 to the 2 is equal to 100. So I just solve that out. And then after exponents, I do multiplication / division, the time symbols times the divided symbols. So, and then after all that, I do addition or subtraction. So PEMDAS is equal to PEDMSA. So they're the same thing basically. So MD and DM can be exchanged, and AS and SA can be exchanged. The multiplication and division are the same exact order. You can't do them. You can't take multiplication first. So a really, really important rule when solving these problems, I've seen a lot of my peers fall for this trap, especially this year. Always go, when everything is solved and you have multiplication and division, addition and subtraction left, you always go from left to right, always left to right. So let's try this one. So parentheses always goes first. So we have this problem. So I see 2 parentheses, right? 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So 6 divided by 2 times 3. So I solve the parentheses first. I don't have any exponents, so I just leave it be. Then I do multiplication and division. So I go left to right. So 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3 times 3 is equal to 9. And there's no addition or subtraction. So the final answer is 9. So that's why the answer was 9, which is B. So I'll give you some more examples. So this is going to be a little bit harder. Hopefully none of you mind staying after class a little bit. I know, I'm sorry. This is day 1. I'm just testing things out. So in this case, brackets, parentheses, and curly brackets are all the same order because mathematicians don't want to get confused. See, we have this big bracket around this one. So we want to solve this, the parentheses first, and then on parentheses first, and then we solve brackets. And if we have, the reason we use brackets and curly brackets is because if we use too much parentheses, everything will get too confusing. So I'll give you like 2 minutes to solve all of these. They shouldn't be that difficult. I'm sorry. This is really rushed today. Sorry. Bye, Farwin. If you guys want to stay after class, I'll be gladly stay after class for you guys.
Bye, 318 dear guestie. Bye.
Okay, so to save time, because a lot of people are leaving, so I will go through these. I know if you guys are struggling, I will go through these after class more in depth, but right now we are going to go through these lightning fast. So first one is 28, second one 60, 6, 42, and 9. So that's it for today. That is the end. So anyone has any questions, I know, I'm sorry for keeping it this long. So you guys can leave now if you have no questions. Please email your answers to awy75@gmail.com. And your answers will always be sent. See you, everyone. See you next class, which is, I think, next Monday. So, yep. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
All right. So if anyone does have any questions, please do ask me, and I'll be here for the next couple minutes. All right, so Fairwin, I think you had a couple questions for me, right? Do you need me to go over anything? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. You can unmute yourself. If no one has any other questions, you are welcome to leave. If you do, I'm still here. I'll be here for the next 5 minutes if you need me.